Lions with a bounce back day on day 2 in Indy. Let's talk about the joint practice with the Colts on Locked On Lions.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Lions, everybody, for a Thursday on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's Matt Dery and you on a Thursday, August 18th into Friday, August 19th. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day right here on Locked On Lions. And you can find us on all platforms, including YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Dery Speaks. That's D-E-R-Y, Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, the Matt Dery Facebook fan page. And, as I mentioned before, we are on YouTube. You can watch the show. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're at just over 1,000 subscribers. We're still pretty new. Let's get up to 2,000, shall we, as we talk about your favorite football team. Coming up on the show today, day 2 in Indy, Westfield, Indiana, northern suburb of Indianapolis, right there by Carmel. Shout out to Carmel High School. Go Greyhounds. And the Lions did much better today. Dan Campbell admitted something before practice today, and I love this about him. We'll get into that coming up momentarily. More winners than losers today. We'll tell you about that as they worked out with the Colts. We'll give you an update on who's going to play and who isn't going to play on Saturday in the preseason game number 2 against the Colts at Lucas Oil. And also some win totals, exact win totals, and what your odds are if you're going to be putting money down on exact win totals for the Lions. We will do that from our friends at BetOnline coming up momentarily as well, right here on Locked On Lions. If you are new to the show, welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I've been at this since 2016 doing the podcast. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I am not a reporter. I'm not on the scene all of the time. What this show is entertaining, news of the day, opinions, good guests. Tomorrow, Jake Arthur, who hosts the Locked On Colts podcast, will join me, and we'll do a reset and a recap of kind of what Jake saw because he was there the last 2 days of these open workouts and joint practices with the Colts. Yes, tomorrow I will have my haircut. Maybe not necessarily for Jake's interview, but yeah, I know it's getting bushy. I'm getting cleaned up tomorrow for those of you watching on YouTube. So. But we appreciate you guys pouring in the love and watching and listening to this very podcast. All right, let's start with this. Dan Campbell today. Some updates from the Danimal as he spoke with the media before practice today in Indy. Number 1, Devin Funchess left yesterday's practice with a shoulder injury. Campbell called it a stinger today and said that Funchess is fine. The tight end position is interesting with this football team. There was a winner today for Detroit, and it was one of the backup tight ends. And with Jason Kabinda maybe not starting the season on time, this team may carry 4 tight ends, with one of them, Brock Wright, acting as a fullback. Keep that in mind. But Funchess has a chance. A really nice catch in the touchdown on Friday against the Falcons, the one-hander in the back of the end zone. But that stinger, the shoulder injury they had yesterday, Campbell saying today, that he is fine. That's number 1. Number 2, what Dan Campbell basically opened his media session with today in Indy was, we've got to be better. And defensively, especially in the one-on-one drills on Wednesday, we got worked. We got absolutely clowned. And he made it a point to call out, and he did this with the team, he called out the defensive backs. And he said today or tomorrow, probably did this after practice Wednesday, tomorrow we've got to be better. And so I like that from Dan Campbell. He's taking these joint practices seriously. He is communicating to his team. And what everybody saw that was there yesterday, including some of the fans who were texting me that were there about how bad Okuda was, how bad Oruwariye was, how this cornerback struggled, that safety struggled. Campbell saw it too and didn't sugarcoat it, told his players about it today. And the good news is that they responded. We'll get into that momentarily as well. Campbell also said today, not many of the starters are going to play on Saturday afternoon in the game against the Colts. He thinks they got plenty of reps in this week, and he does not want to put many of the starters out there and risk injury. We've already seen a few starters on other teams go down with injuries, namely Zach Wilson of the Jets. And so this is keeping many of the regulars out of these preseason games. Next week when the Lions, I believe, play Pittsburgh, you're not going to see a lot of the starters in that game either. Roster's down to 85 right now. So a lot of backups. The preseason has definitely changed, going from 3 games to 4 4 games to 3. And that third preseason game used to be the dress rehearsal game. There's really no such thing right now. The dress rehearsal has been the last 2 days where the starters for both teams are practicing in pads against each other. Tomorrow the team will relax and rest, take a day off, hang out in downtown Indy. Who knows? Maybe walk around the city and chill and get themselves a Shapiro's Deli sandwich and get ready for the game on Saturday. Speaking of the game, if a lot of the starters are not going to play, there is one thing Dan Campbell wants his team to do, and I really like this from Hard Knocks, and that is he wants his guys engaged on the sidelines, and he wants the players in pads cheering the guys on in case they have to play. He told a story, I believe, on Hard Knocks about how when he was a backup tight end with the Cowboys, he didn't take all of his pads off when he came out of preseason games. He kept them on because he kind of learned his lesson. He had to go back into a game late in that game. So there's little things like that with culture and with cheering each other on that I think is nice. But again, this team is going to be judged on wins and losses, and we're going to give you exact win totals coming up. But I think Dan Campbell is kind of playing it right. All right, so let's discuss the defense first today. And we will do that coming up next. But first, we want to tell you about our friends at LinkedIn. As you gear up for fall, you need the right people on your team to help your small business fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster. And oh, by the way, for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. My full-time job, I work at Financial Architects, and we're always posting on LinkedIn with the hashtag hiring. And it works. It's great. Add your job and the purple hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. That's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number 1 in delivering quality hiring versus leading competitors. Trust me, it works. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, so today, let me do this. So today, the Lions defense, which got worked yesterday by Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, and the Colts. The Lions defense today came to play. They did. Yes, it's a joint practice. Yes, it's not a game. But there's 7,000 people in the stands. They're at Colts camp. They're into it. It's hot. And this defense had a chip on its shoulder. Dan Campbell called them out, and they responded. Let's start with this. Indianapolis had the football 12 plays in the red zone during red zone drills. Red zone means touchdowns. Good teams score touchdowns in the red zone. The Lions defense today, in 12 red zone plays, the Lions defense allowed 0 touchdowns. The Colts went 0 for 12 in the red zone against the Lions. That is progress. This defense has been much maligned. I've called this defense out. Other people have called it out. Heck, it finished 30th in the league last year in scoring, defense, points allowed, etc. Today, the Colts went 0 for 12 in the red zone. That's huge. That's confidence building for this team. They needed this after what happened on Wednesday. And a couple of guys that stepped up. First guy you got to mention, Jeff Okuda, the former number 1 pick, the former number 3 pick overall. Okuda had himself a day. He went up for the football. He knocked it away from guys like Pierce and Pittman. There was no BS today like yesterday where Okuda was sideswiping Pittman in a scrum. Jeff Okuda looked like he belonged today. Now, again, that could change. There's inconsistency we've seen from him. He wasn't good yesterday. But damn it, today, he was good, and he made plays, and the Lions need him to do that. I don't want to hear about, well, he's battling with Will Harris for the starting job. Give me a break. A converted safety that's not very good, battling with Okuda. Okuda should have that job. It should be him on one side and Oruwariye on the other. That's what we're signing up for here, people. So that was good news today from Okuda. Another player that really stepped up today was Austin Bryant again. Man, we've said his name a lot in camp. Defensive end with some size, with some height, can get around the edge. Dude had 3 sacks today. And he was so good, the PR staff put him on the podium and let him speak to the media. It's almost the second time where all of the writers and all of the reporters kept tweeting out or even in their notes packages after the game, after the practice today. Austin Bryant, 3 sacks today, was disruptive. Again, we've talked about this. Aiden Hutchinson's going to be good. Charles Harris hopefully will continue what he's doing. But you got both Okwara brothers hurt. You got Josh Paschal. The second round jinx continues. He's hurt. Who's going to step up and get to the passer? Not named Hutchinson and Harris. It's got to be somebody. Those guys can't play every snap. Austin Bryant is showing up. He's having a good camp, and that's great to see. And he was good again today, and he got to Matt Ryan and Nick Foles and Sam Ehlinger to the tune of 3 sacks. Also along that D-line, Aleem McNeil, the dream, was everywhere today. Tackles for loss, disruptive in one-on-ones, disruptive in 11-on-11s. All right, let's go here. My biggest concern, and you know I'm a linebacker basher, but my biggest concern is that interior defensive line. Aleem McNeil showed spurts last year. Today, he was everywhere. That's a good sign. That's a good O-line. The interior of that line for the Colts with Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, those guys are ballers. And Aleem McNeil shredded them today. So the defense got called out, and some of those guys were making plays. You love to see it. Also, got to give a shout out to A.J. Parker. 2-minute drill, Colts 4th down, moving the ball. Parker with a pass breakup. His name was called a few times today as a slot corner. There's a lot of cornerbacks on this team. Jerry Jacobs still not healthy. Mike Hughes, will he make the team? We thought he would, but he hasn't been great. We talked about Oruwariye and Okuda and Harris. Melifonwu now a safety. Bobby Price was a cornerback now playing safety. A.J. Parker's name has come up, as has Chase Lucas. Those guys are battling for time. Good job today by A.J. To get recognized and to make some plays after yesterday where pretty much everybody was getting scorched by that Colts offense. On the other side of the field, and on the other field where the offense was going up against the defense, I texted a couple of people and said, give me a name from today on the offense. And someone said, Jared Goff threw a 60-yard bomb touchdown at Trinity Benson, and Goff looked okay. It's like, all right, first team O-line, the usual. But I had 2 different people tell me today that Shane Zylstra had a good day. So the tight end who's kind of right there on the cusp. Will he make the team? Will he not make the team? Shane Zylstra making plays today. And again, with Brock Wright having a good camp, TJ Hawkinson, who's gonna be there. You got the rookie from Vatek, and you got Zylstra. So the Lions have their better depth this year at tight end than they did a year ago. The question will be, would Zylstra play ahead of Mitchell, James Mitchell from Vatek right now or not? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Mitchell was drafted. Zylstra is kind of a guy, a ham and egger, but he had a good day today, and multiple people telling me he was good. All right, coming up next, exact win totals for the Lions from our friends at BetOnline in Vegas. What would you bet on? How would you do this? We'll bring that to you coming up next. First, a message from our friends at the NHTSA. You're hanging out with some friends, putting back a few drinks, a few become too many, and the evening comes to an end, and people start to head home. You think of calling for a ride. Nah, you live close by. You can make it home okay. It's no big deal. What are the odds you're going to get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? Your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone? Listen, folks, everyone knows about the risks of driving drunk. The results are tragic and often deadly. However, that still doesn't stop everyone from getting behind the wheel while under the influence. That's why police officers are out there right now looking for impaired drivers on our roads to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. It only takes one mistake to change your life or someone else's forever. Drive sober or get pulled over. All right, back on Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day right here on the program. We're going to talk to Jake Arthur from Locked On Colts tomorrow on the show. All right, exact season wins for the Lions and right now what the odds are from our friends at betonline.ag. We know this. The Detroit Lions currently sit at an over-under of 6.5 wins. 6.5 at betonline.ag in Vegas. Exact season wins. Obviously, you can't bet on 6.5 wins. There's no such thing as a half of a win. If you were to bet on the Lions to have 7 wins this year, the odds right now are 9-4. Lowest odds, 7 wins at 9-4. Next is 6 at 5-2. After that, 8 wins, sitting at 13-5 odds. 5 wins at 17-4. 9 wins at 19-4. 4 wins at 13-2. 10 wins is straight 850. 3 wins, 12-1 odds. 11 wins, 14-1 odds. It's interesting. Like the Chicago Bears, if someone picked them to finish with 11 wins, that would be 20-1. If someone thinks the Chicago Bears are going to win 14 games, it's 150-1. But for the Lions, there you go. 7 wins is the hotness right now. 7 wins right now, you're sitting at 9-4 odds. All right? If the Lions were to win 17 games, you'd win $1,000 if you put down $1. 1,000-1. 16 wins, 500-1. 15 wins, 250-1. 0 wins, 250-1. 1 win, 75-1. 14 wins, 125-1. 13 wins, 55-1. 12 wins, 25-1. But those lower numbers, 7 wins is the favorite right now at 9-4. And then 6 at 5-2, which is what we kind of expected because the over-under right now is at 6.5. I want to watch the rest of the preseason. I want to watch practice before the season starts. I want to see this roster. I think it was Malcolm Brown, who was just recently cut by the Carolina Panthers, the former New Orleans Saints defensive tackle, who was with Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell. He could be a fit for this team. He's the guy that was just made available. I want to see this entire roster before I do anything else, before I put any money down. By the way, Malcolm Rodriguez had a good day today, too. Didn't mention him, but he did. Colts quarterbacks, by the way. Nick Foles will start Saturday. No Matt Ryan. He'll play a quarter Sam Ellinger, the second-year man, will play a quarter and a half after that. So just to give you an update on where Indy is for Saturday's game at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis. If you guys are going to the game, drive safe. I always tell people, because everyone says, oh, no, you go to Indy, you take 94 to 69. No, I'm telling you, the underrated route is Highway 24. Underrated route. 75, 475, 24, 469, 69, all the way down. That's my advice to you. All right, that'll do it for another edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Jake Arthur tomorrow from Locked On Colts. We'll have a post-game pod on Sunday as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.